Hey, welcome to this week's Midweek Howl. After a week off, me and the
Yeah,
Howler, we're back at it, even on a holiday weekend.
barely.
Barely, barely. Hey, I see it's pouring down rain or something in Missouri, isn't it?
Nah, I don't, we haven't seen any. It rained yesterday, and it wasn't even enough to settle the dust.
Really, we've only had 3/4 of an inch of rain in August, so we're hurting a little
Yeah,
bit.
this was like the fourth driest August on record.
Yikes. Yikes. And so we talked about before high school football season kicked off in Missouri, right?
Yeah,
All right. All right. It week number two where we're at happened last Friday. And the town that I work in, Bucyrus, had the seventh longest losing streak in the state of Ohio going on and won a game Friday night.
who
So
they beat?
ironically, they beat a team called Triad that is down around
Were they
Springfield.
Chinese or something?
No, no, though
Oh,
that Triad would have probably won. Um, but uh, but my wife's cousin has a kid on that team, plays on the JV team, and they had asked us if we would go or if we wanted to go or whatever. I thought, boy, I wonder how good Triad is. Maybe he'll get in at the end of the game because Bucyrus typically isn't very good.
right.
It's then you find out, but we didn't go because we had gone to a volleyball game the night before, and I'm getting old, man. I can't sit in those bleachers and stuff for too long, and yeah, I found out the next morning that Triad lost, so that had made it even worse to go to the game and um
Root for a losing team.
root for a losing team. Yeah, yeah. But my hats off to Bucyrus. That must suck to lose 22 straight. I can't even imagine. So, but and so you said your son's team came out
Yeah, we
victorious.
come out. Yeah, we come out 30. I don't even remember. I'll have to look. 20. Hold on. I'll tell you. I have to look it up on my. I'm gonna send you a picture right now that'll say everything. It'll tell you everything about where we were at.
But you did say, and these are my words. So anybody listening in Missouri, that your son's team got homered basically by the refs.
Yeah, well,
So
obviously it didn't do not. Yeah, I mean,
not homered enough, but homered enough to keep it from keep the game close. Is that what you're saying?
uh-huh. You know what's crazy? It won't send. I'm down here in the basement, and it won't
There.
send.
All right. I'll have to.
I'm sending you two of them. I think the time of possession. This is craziness. What I'm about to tell you. Okay, the time of possession was like the total game. Now we
Mhm.
had like 17 minutes, and they had 40 something.
What?
Because if we got the ball, we scored. Does that make sense? If we got the ball, we scored, and then or we took it away from them and scored. They just bumbled around, man. It
And
was just like,
it was 21-20 with 5 minutes left to go in the game.
hey, and they controlled the ball the last 5 minutes. Because what's
And
the
they
final
had
score? Did you
wait a
get the
second.
final?
What is it? It was 21-20 the final score?
No, I think it was 28. Hey, look at the next one. That's because we took it away from them. They had the ball, so you can imagine that, right? You see it right there. 5:41 to go, 20 to
5:41,
21, right? Fourth
2021.
quarter,
Yep.
they got the ball. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The thing's shady. I don't know.
I haven't got the last picture. So it ends up 28-20, even
Uh-huh.
though they had the ball for the last 5 minutes. What did you guys score? A defensive touchdown or
Yeah,
something?
they took it away. Yeah, and scored it. And then you're going to see the next one. They got the ball again, and I mean, they got it all the way down to the 1 second. The next one I'm going to show you is the 1 second. They had 1 second left on the clock, and they hiked. They tried again. They didn't get it. But
So even with 1 second, they had a chance because you guys are only up eight.
yes, yes.
Wow.
Uh huh.
Wow. Wow.
We were up eight because they kicked on one of their kicks. They hit the upright. It was a no good on a field goal after. point.
Now I got a lot of grief. I tried to do our very first live on YouTube last week. It was kind of a it was kind of a it was kind of a disaster at the beginning, and then
Why?
I was not prepared. I'm technologically challenged. So it just ended up I was going to have a guest on. It just ended up being me. But in the chat section,
Yep.
a bunch of people started giving me crap,
About what?
about the Texas Ohio State game, rooting for Texas. And I think maybe they all owe me an apology because Ohio State really made Texas look bad.
Did it make little Archie look that bad? Because I was seeing that they were down, people were down on him.
Well,
Or did he
listen,
have some bad throws or something?
look, Ohio State's defense is just really good. And, they've got that new coordinator, Matt Patricia, who was worked under Belichick for a long time, which we're recording this on Monday. So tonight we'll get to see Belichick in his first college game.
Who are they playing?
Uh, TCU, maybe North Carolina.
Oh, the
It's at
Horned
North.
Toads?
It's at North Carolina. The place is sold out, and nobody knows if it's because it's Belichick's first game or it's his girlfriend's first game. And
Both, one and the same, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But speaking of college, you sent me a cool video of Doug Flutie getting back
Yeah.
his Heisman jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your feelings about Doug Flutie?
I think, did he go to the USFL first?
I can't.
Because I think he was isn't he where did he play ball at?
He played for
College ball.
Boston College.
Was it Flutie or was it, man, who's a good quarterback from Ohio back in them days?
Um, when he played,
Hold on, let me look. You're going to make me get to the
there wouldn't have
Google.
been a good look. Doug Flutie's the guy that screwed my hero when I was a kid, Keith Byers, out of the Heisman Trophy.
Why?
Do you remember that long pass he threw against
We
Miami
didn't
of
have
Florida?
TV back. I mean, we didn't back in them days. I mean, you really had to want to watch a game, didn't you?
Well, it was a national game. It was on Saturday. It was Miami versus Boston College, and he chucked up that Hail Mary that Gerard Phelan caught his roommate in the end zone, and I think Miami was number one at the time. Knocked them off, and I remember I must have been in junior high, seventh, eighth grade, going to the high school basketball game that night and just going, he just screwed Keith Byers out of the Heisman Trophy because that pass right there is all anybody's gonna remember. And I can't believe you don't remember that. I'm sure you've seen it over the years.
Oh, I'm sure.
They've played it over and over again. And that little sucker, um, little sucker made it. But yeah, he
Bernie
played.
Kosar.
Oh, he played in Miami of Florida. Yeah, but he
He's
would have
from
been.
Boardman, Ohio.
Yep, he would have been before Doug Flutie played because by then he'd already been playing for the Browns when Doug Flutie played. Because when Doug Flutie came out, I think he played for the Generals in the USFL. Then he played for the Bears and the Patriots. And he also played in the CFL for a little bit because a guy that I was a freshman with at the University of Cincinnati, Jamie Crysdale, got traded while in college for Doug Flutie because Jamie Crysdale was Canadian, and Canadian, they owned your like territory rights. Like if you
Really?
live, yeah, like you own players if they were in your territory.
Right.
And so the place that owned his rights traded him to whoever Doug Flutie was playing for. So yeah, Jamie Crysdale got traded for Doug Flutie while he was still in college,
Well,
which was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting. So, but yeah, that was a cool thing. Flutie got his like it
can you
was.
believe they give it back to him after all them years?
Well,
You
that's
think
what
they just throw it in
happened.
throw the
Ha-
trash and act like I didn't know what happened to it.
well, that lady sounded like she was a pretty stern mom and was probably mad. I mean, that kid would probably had it up on
I
eBay.
didn't read the whole thing. How did she know the kid had it?
So the kid was going to college at Mercyhurst or somewhere, and he came home from a party. Now, here's the thing: is he came home from a party in the '90s. All right. So Doug Flutie was
That
in
was 10 years later.
at least. So Doug Flutie, so he comes home with this jacket, and it's not like they made it sound like a varsity jacket, but it was
Yeah,
like
I
one of
thought it was like a
those.
leather jacket. It's like a,
It was like a silk, one of those silk bomber jackets
yeah,
that they used to embroider
yeah, oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
back in the day. Oh heck
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. For your bowling team and stuff, that's what you'd have wore that for. So
Uh-huh.
it was a special. They made five of them to commemorate, I think, his Heisman Trophy. And he said, Doug Flutie said, he knew his dad had one, his father-in-law had one, but that the rest of them over the years had disappeared. Okay, so this lady, her son comes home from this party and she sees this jacket and she's like, son, this jacket does not belong to us, to you or us. So she had it cleaned, put in the closet, and she made the decision she was going to give it to him herself at some point. So
Because it
20,
had his name or something on it.
yeah, she knew it was specially made for Doug Flutie, okay? And that there weren't many of them. So that was in the mid 90s. So 30 years later, she sees him. They're having Doug Flutie night at a minor league baseball game, I think in New Hampshire somewhere. And she goes to the game, and the
With that
news
jacket.
with that jacket in a nice zip up thing. And the news meets, grabs Flutie as he's walking in, and he unzips it, and he's like, "Oh my God, where did you get that?" And she kind of told him the story. And he's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. This is amazing."
My kid
So,
was at a drunken party and picked up the wrong jacket? Or what do you think happened?
but the question is though, where was it? Like, how did it get 10 years later at like Stony Brook or whatever, Holy Brook or
Maybe the
wherever?
guy had it for 10 years.
But that's
Maybe
my
this guy stole it from the guy that stole it.
maybe that jacket was a legendary thing, like it was around the East Coast and all those small
Yeah, and maybe
colleges.
it was like a scavenger hunt to try to
Yeah,
find it.
if you could find Doug Flutie's Heisman jacket and take it, and that kid, they screwed the game. He was supposed to take it to the next party, like at Holy Cross or something, or Harvard, and leave it there, and for the next person to find. Well, maybe I don't know. That would be cool. That'd be a cool game, wouldn't it? Who could find it? Oh my gosh. So speaking of that, we were talking. Did you get your Powerball tickets for
I
tonight?
did. Yeah. Well, I got them for the other night. I think that they might have already drawn for the Friday one. I don't know. I had to go get another
Mm,
one here in a minute. I don't
they're
just send
drawing
those over to
here.
me.
They're drawing here tonight.
You can't have enough Powerball tickets, can you? They're like guns and girlfriends. You just collect them. Some of them work out, some of them don't.
But if you happen to get the right one, there's a huge
Cash
price
it
to
in.
pay. Yes, you can. So this is five. This is just a shade under 500 million before taxes if you take the lump sum.
Yep, I seen that. I was thinking it'd just be enough for me to get new tires on my truck and get a
But
new pair of shoes.
but you couldn't buy a new truck,
I
probably.
wouldn't, I don't know. There are so many. I'm down on new vehicles,
Hmm.
you know,
My
because
wife's
the $50,000 or $90,000 it would cost me, I think all the shit I can buy.
yeah.
I could buy the first 5 pages of Facebook Marketplace and have money left over. Why would I buy a new truck?
That's interesting. I'd love to hear what some. So I told Christy, I said, "Hey, look, we'd probably get about 300 million." I said, "You get 100 million to spend, and the rest I'll put put in a trust or whatever. And she goes, well, why would you do that? We don't need to save any of that money. And I said, if you can spend $100 million in, a couple of
25
years,
years. Yeah, well, I mean, how would you, unless you're buying real estate, how would you spend it?
you couldn't. You
Yeah,
could,
that's what I mean.
like, you could travel anywhere you wanted. You could, because I honestly think, like, I think if they gave me and you $100 million and said you guys got to go spend it, and you can't buy a house and you can't buy land, I don't know how we could spend $100 million.
I guess we'd buy votes for the Democrats next time around, but would that be enough?
Votes for why would Democrats need votes?
Well, they've run out of them last time.
Did you say votes or boats?
Well, boats and votes, because we got to get them illegals in here somewhere. Put them on a boat and get them up here like them damn, like they do over Europe.
Well, I don't even know if we
I
could
don't
spend
know.
100
I think
million
if you gave
doing
me
that.
$100 million in 10 years, you would probably, I'd still have $100 million.
The only thing I would buy
I could
is real
spend,
estate.
I
You
could
know,
spend $1.5 million and buy this farm down the road from my house. Not even a farm, 250 acres down the road from my house. And then the rest of it I just put in the bank, and in 10 years it would, if it had 4.5%, it would be, you know what I mean? I'd make that 1.5 million back.
once I told her, I said, if the time it took us to spend 100 million, that 200 million would be worth 500 million. And
Mm-hmm.
I go, nobody we knew would owe money or have to worry
Why
about
would you be
money.
giving it to a bunch of people, strangers?
I said,
You're
nobody,
gonna give it away?
I said, people we knew. I
Oh
didn't
my
say, I didn't
gosh.
say strangers. Come on. I mean, I would be a little bit charitable.
Well,
Nothing wrong with that. I
hmm
mean, it's found money.
well, if me and you were walking across the parking lot and you found $100 bill laying on the parking lot,
Hmm.
would you give me 50 of it? You ain't got nothing in it,
I might give you 100,
you know?
depending
You're
on how
just,
bad.
you're just buttering me up in case I win it.
Hey, well, here's an example. Okay, so 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm on the mail route and I'm going through my letters that come sorted by the machine. Okay,
Hmm.
and here's an envelope with the plastic window on it, and it has whatever is in it is turned backwards, so there's no address there. And I'm like,
What about the retard that took that?
listen, well, no, listen, before you pass judgment. Okay. So I pick this up and I'm like, what the heck? The envelope is open. All
Oh,
right. So I open it up and there is a bill or an invoice in there that is an invoice from 2020.
whoa.
Okay. But this person who was paying the invoice was paying it 4 years late, had put this in the mail in 2024, put it the wrong way in an envelope, didn't seal it, and the payment was a $50 bill because the $50 bill was still in the envelope. And,
So,
and so I
you
sat.
saying this thing sat around the mail sorting place for the last year and a half?
This thing was been going through the mail. It had to have obviously been. So at some point, it got a barcode put on it that placed it in my computer sorted machine sorted mail at that particular spot. Okay. Like if you look, there's like little barcodes on every piece of mail on the front and on the back. And and it places those then in certain spots on your route based where it thinks it's supposed to go. And if it gets the wrong barcode on it, it will just continually, you can mark it off, you can send it back, and you'll get stuff from 10 states away. It'll keep showing back up in the same place in your mail until the postmaster or something actually does something physically with it. But yeah, so this piece of mail got put in there. So I just took it back to the supervisor and said, hey, put this in an envelope and send this to where
It
it
needs to
was
go.
it was supposed to go,
Did he
somewhere.
agree with that?
He goes, well, mate, do you think we should send it back to the person? And I go, I don't have any faith that that person lives in that address, where, because it was an exterminator. So they had been there. They had been somewhere five in 2020 killing bugs, and it looked like it was an apartment by the address. And I said, I don't have any faith that that person lives there. I go send it to the place where the bill is supposed to be paid and let them contact the person and figure it out. And he just looked at me and goes, can you believe that $50? I mean, it's an open envelope. I mean, we have people all the time opening envelopes to steal stuff, gift
You mean
cards,
postal
money,
employees or other people or who?
both. There's postal employees all the time
Oh,
in
come
at
on.
distribution centers. Oh yeah, they get caught all the time opening up cards and stuff like that. Did I ever tell you about the one scam these guys were running? And I don't know where it was, but they had pre-printed up a bunch of labels to go to an address that where they could get the stuff. And as they were sorting packages in this distribution center, if they saw a package they liked, they would smack a label over top of the real label, and it would go
Like they
to,
wouldn't get caught with that.
yeah, well, they didn't get caught for a long time because it was millions of dollars worth of stuff that they ended up getting delivered to their place over, I don't know. The problem is these people get too greedy, you know? Like, well, we had a postmaster in our district who was stealing coins out of the mail that were going or being sent by a really high-end coin shop up in the Cleveland district somewhere, is in our district.
Oh, they
And
could see who was mailing it, and then they knew that it was a coin shop.
this guy knew it was a coin shop, which just makes no sense why you think you'd get away with that. And the best
Right.
part is when they it was they knew they came to arrest him, or came, the postal inspectors. They went into his office, and there was all kinds of stuff in his office.
That he had
Like,
taken?
yes, like Bed Bath and Beyond, Amazon stuff that was just sitting in his office. Didn't even take it home. I mean, how
Well, he
crazy.
deserved to get caught then.
I know. And that's the guy in charge of some people that would, walk out periodically and tell you how you were screwing them and not working hard enough, probably. And he's there stealing.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but I mean, I don't know.
um, so I told you that one of my old high school teammates, football
Yep.
teammates, passed away last
Yep.
week.
You didn't tell me how.
I did say, okay, so he he was I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a terrible drinker. I mean, actually, he was a good drinker because he was very good at drinking. Okay, but his dad was an alcoholic and passed away, and sadly, from the time we were in college, he just, and it was an excuse, but he said, there's no reason for me not to drink. I'm an alcoholic. My dad was an alcoholic. It's going to kill me. Okay. Now, that is not what killed him, but that is what prevented him from,
Getting help for other stuff.
yes. So and I don't know exactly what he was in for, but he had been in the hospital recently because a jealous husband had broken into his house and beat the crap out of him, and he put him in the hospital
Jealous
for a
husband
month.
because he was running women.
Jealous husband because this guy's wife had left him and was supposedly with
Just
my
drunk.
buddy, and
Which is never ceases to amaze me why these girls would run off and be with some alcoholic loser. But go ahead.
well, he had a job, so he was just an alcoholic. I'm not going to label him a loser. He was an alcoholic. Now, he might have been better further ahead if he had not been an alcoholic, but neither it's
Those things
neither
happen. Uh-huh.
And so apparently, and I'm only saying this because this stuff is all over the Facebook and stuff like this. This is all public, okay? And um and so she was like photographed. They put pictures up of her with him while he was in the hospital
The
recovering
other
from this.
girl,
The woman while he was in the hospital
the
recovering
woman
from.
attached to the jealous man.
Yep, yep. And so
Did
he
I say
gets
that
out.
right?
Yeah, jealous. Yeah, yeah. So he gets out of the hospital after recovering, like for 30 days, and she goes back to her ex or goes back to her husband. And then it was a couple weeks later then that he got sick and went into the hospital and
Came
um
back out.
never came back out. And I think part of it was he had,
Heartbroken.
he had no, I don't know about that. But there's a great story, okay, from our youth. This is at least 25 years ago.
Okay.
And we used to get together a lot, us guys, and we'd play poker on Sunday nights. And so one Sunday night, he shows up and he goes, "Yeah, you're never going to believe what happened to me last night." Right? Okay. So again, he was messing around with a lady who
Allegedly.
allegedly, allegedly. All I know was he was at a house that he with a lady who was married, and they supposedly were having trouble and not together. And he went home with her, but he fell asleep or passed out in the lazy boy chair. Okay. Now, this lady's husband
Okay.
is a ginormous man.
Is he a podcaster?
He is not a podcaster.
Oh, then I'm safe. Go ahead.
Yes, he's I mean, back then, he would have been one of the handful of guys I'd have said, I don't think I would have messed with that guy. Like he was built like a, brick.
Right. Commode.
Yes, commode. I mean, so our buddy says, he goes, I passed out on this lazy boy, feet up in the air. And he goes, next thing I know, this guy had come to his house, come back to his house, come home, seen this guy passed out in the chair, and stomped on that footrest and stood our buddy right up in front of him, nose to nose now. And he said, the guy goes, I think you were just leaving. And our buddy goes, I said, yes, I was just leaving. It was a Saturday night in February, and our buddy did not drive. He didn't drive there. Okay. There was no cell phones back. This is early 90s. He's wearing cowboy boots and he leaves his leather jacket on the couch. Okay.
Golly, leather jacket.
He had to walk 8 miles in cowboy boots in 20 some degree weather, half drunk, back to his parents' house because that was the closest place he could go. And, I don't even know that any of us could feel sorry for him in that moment because you kind of,
what did you say? He had to leave a married woman's house drunk, walk 8 miles in his cowboy boots. He left his jacket in the wintertime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, everybody, like Ed would say, everybody wants to do cowboy shit till it's time to do cowboy shit.
Oh, man.
It's just, that's the cowboy life, right?
I guess so.
I think Willie Nelson's number one hit on Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow to Be Cowboys. And he's just picking up hookers instead of my children, doesn't he? That's a line in it. So,
oh man, so that is one of the great stories from.
like a great guy. Sounds like somebody I could be related to.
Oh my gosh! Well, everybody's got a friend that does stupid stuff, right? I mean, I don't know, but I think I texted you about going to his calling hours. I said
Yeah, you did, and
he either died way too young or I'm getting old. And you, thankfully, you,
both. I mean, I went to my grandpa's sister's, I don't know, 80 something birthday party this week. So
wow,
that's
80 something.
Saturday. Well, yeah, it was one of the baby sisters. He's got a big sister that's 93 that sat across from me, 94, 93, 94. What is he? Of course, my grandma, my dad's mom's still alive. She's 93. And then, anyway, my grandpa has one brother that's still alive. He's 86. So I joked with my little brother. I said, I got to live another 32 years to get his age.
I listen, I know I got an uncle that's 93 and he's in pretty good shape. He's just now starting last couple of years he's started to go downhill a little bit. But I told Christy, I said, that's 35 more years.
Mm-hmm.
30, 36 or 7, actually. I can't imagine it. Can you? I mean, I'd have to win the
I
lottery.
tried a
I'd
while
have,
ago when I was in the pool. I thought that exact same thing. It's like 35 years ago. I was thinking 32 years ago. 32 years ago, I was already a cop, so whatever. But yeah, okay. So I was thinking, yeah, I might have to live this whole thing. I'm gonna have to work another couple of years. That's what every time I think I'm gonna retire,
yeah, there
I
you go.
think I better work another 2 years because I might live it. You know what I mean? If I
Mm-hmm.
get the good DNA
Mm-hmm.
and I have to live another 30, you know what I mean? If I have to pay for another 30 years, maybe I need to work another year or two, right?
I know. I know. Because is the post office going to last long enough to pay me my retirement?
Probably not. The government's not. I mean, this whole thing's gonna shit the bed at some point, but
It's going to?
yeah, oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Well, I mean, you make it sound like
All
it
empires,
hasn't.
all empires come to fruition, right? I mean, we're not going to go 700. I think the Roman Empire lasted what 700 basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're going to make it 700, but Mhm.
As long as it just makes it until me and you in our early 90s, and then we'll be
In
okay.
some ways, I thought if it was going to collapse, I'd rather it collapse now. So I'm here. I got better skill sets than my kids. I can help them navigate some hard decisions. And
Oh, navigate some hard. Oh, speaking of navigating hard decisions, did you hear about the big? There's a big Bigfoot sighting in Missouri
mm-mm.
last week. Did you hear about that? Nita sent me all
I'm
kinds of stuff
listening.
about it.
No, I'm listening. Tell me about it.
Forgot all about it until you just said something about hard decisions. But she sent me some stuff, and she goes, "You got to send this to the Howler," and I'm like, "Why?" So he could tell
Where
me
was the Bigfoot supposedly at?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get this information, send it to you, and then we'll have to talk about it and see if you know where it's at. I guess it was a big deal though. I can't believe you didn't hear it on the news.
You know, there's too many people drowned, and they're trying to redistrict to try and do some congressional redistricting right now.
In
So
Missouri? They're trying to do that in
yeah.
Missouri?
Mhm.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Everybody's got an agenda, don't they?
Yeah.
Jeez. Jeez, that's terrible. Well, um, so the other thing I did want to say one more thing. Congratulations to a friend of the show's, a friend of me and the judge were in a movie with her. Brey Noelle was. Do you watch Peacemaker with John Cena?
No, but I've seen the trailer. I mean, I've seen.
So season 2 started this week. I'd watched the first episode of the first season, and I mean it's raunchy. Okay, it's kind of dark humor, funny, but I mean there's
Okay,
some raunchy stuff. It's something that Christy would not sit.
and I better not watch it. But go ahead, keep going.
You'd love it. It's right up your alley. So I hadn't finished watching the first season from a couple years ago because it's got some stuff in it. Well, I see then that Bree Noelle, who was in a movie that Phil, our producer, produced, that the judge and I were in. Well, you can barely see me, but the judge plays the judge in it, does a good job. Bree's the lead character. she's in the opening episode as the White Rabbit. Okay, and
The
I'm like
White Rabbit, like
the
the White Rabbit,
the White Rabbit, which I am
like the Gray
not.
Slick White Rabbit.
No, no, no. The White Rabbit from the DC comic universe.
Oh
So you and I aren't comic book guys.
no, but I am the Walrus Cuckoo Cuckoo.
But anyway, she she plays this character, dresses as a white rabbit, who in the comic books is a villain a villain that is
Of
against
course.
Batman. Okay, and she's like an alter ego of a woman that Bruce Wayne dated, and when Bruce Wayne broke it off with her, she
She
created
did
this.
Dead Rabbit,
She
or is that a different movie?
that's isn't that
Yeah, it
Glenn
was.
Close,
Go ahead.
Glenn Close, Michael
Go ahead.
Douglas,
Yeah.
and
Well, she looks old nowadays, don't she? Woo.
anyway, anyway, anyway. So it was really cool. I mean, she literally was on screen for 3 seconds. That's it. But it created this whole big stir that apparently James Gunn, who writes and directs the Peacemaker and does like the Superman movies or something or Batman. I don't even know what movies because,
Right.
but he digs up a lot of obscure villains and heroes in these universes and brings them to life. And so now, because the next scene is very funny, I can't go into it on the radio here, but the next scene then, so they think that this was the origin story of why she became bad, and she and I have been messaging back and forth. I've been sending her a couple articles. She's super excited because the whole fandom is thinks it's cool that he dug up this obscure character and brought it to life. So there you go. Congratulations to Brey Noelle for becoming part of the canon.
The White Rabbit.
The White
Yeah.
Rabbit. The White Rabbit. She's a great kid. She's in her 30s. Super hardworking. She does all kinds of acting, modeling. She even did some singing in Nashville. Super, super hardworking. So it's good to see somebody like her get ahead, or do something cool like that. But so there you go. I wanted to make sure I told her congratulations. So and by the way, I broke down last night or yesterday and bought a new TV.
Oh my gosh, they're cheap. Did you go to Walmart? Where'd you get it at?
I was at Costco and I saw these 65-inch TVs for
For $375.
yeah.
I
So
just seen a whole stack of them at Walmart, and I was like, dude, how are these TVs so cheap?
I because
Probably didn't have any hookups or anything.
Christy sees what's coming through the tariff stuff, and she's like, we need to if we're going to buy a TV, we need to buy it now because they ain't going to be this cheap for very much longer. And I said, all right, so that's a key to everybody out there. If you're going to buy any big ticket items, buy them now because they ain't gonna be cheap for very much longer. And so I went to Sam's Club, and the cheapest human being I know, our buddy David Wade,
Hmm.
bought a 65-inch Samsung, and it was $427. They had it there.
Glad
Man,
you did it.
I went and bought it, hooked it up, and it looked so big in our room that in our living room. But man, it was nice to watch that football game last night. And so I think we may go buy another one for downstairs in the other family room. There you go. How about that? Although I did see an 85-inch TV there. I just don't know what I would do with an 85-inch.
I know. It's funny you say it. I think I got a 75 at my outside by my pool, and I seen those 80s, but it's like, dude, when's it ever stop? When's enough enough?
I know. I don't. Our rooms aren't big enough.
The deals keep coming, but the money runs out. That's what they used to say.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. I used to say a lot of things, and they've all come true. Unfortunately, unfortunately, unfortunately. Well, let's hope that you and I got the winning. One of us got the winning tickets for the Powerball, and never know.
I'll let you know.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.